Friends, I hope you all are doing good. So, we will discuss another article Sergio Gore's arrival signals that a reset of India US ties in within reach. Okay, so this article again by Dr. Shashi Tharoor. A Sergio Gore officially presents his credentials as the United States Ambassador to the India this week. He doesn't merely walk into a diplomatic mission. He enters a curricle. 838 Gore represents a new breed of diplomat, one less interested in the lofty platitudes of shared value and more focused on the hard arithmetic of shared interest. In this current climate where diplomacy, as traditionally understood, has been supplanted by deal making, Gore possesses the unique Trump currency direct access. So he's talking about the United States diplomat arrival. I think new person is coming. So he is talking about that, and diplomats right now are coming for the deal. As we know, India US trade deal is still pending. As a trusted member of US President Donald Trump's inner circle, Gore's presence in New Delhi gives India a valuable advantage in the challenge of navigating a revival of much wanted strategic partnership, which seemed to be shuddering to a halt amid trade friction, insulting rhetoric, an indefinitely postponed Quad summit, and the calculated snub of India's omission from the initial list of members of the new Pax Silica supply chain partnership. Gore's arrival marks a pivot from traditional diplomacy to a more transactional, high stake deal making approach. His youth and proximity to President Trump's may be exactly what the bilateral relationship required to overcome its most turbulent period. Indicate India must work with him to strike a deal. So again, he mentioned the same thing that he is one of the Trump's inner circle person. So that will be helpful for India to navigate our strategic partnership. The main reason it has friction because of the trade deal. As we know, we have postponed Quad summit. That is also one thing. Supply chain, Pax Silica supply chain. One more thing. So let's see what he is writing. However, Gore inherits a relationship currently defined by friction. The 50% punitive tariffs, which rose at this to this level in August 2025 due to combination of reciprocal trade measures and penalties for India's Russian oil import, have caused a 28.5% drop in Indian export to the US. Even peace in Ukraine, if it leaves India at 25%, gives Indian exporters a significant disadvantage against rivals like Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Bangladesh, who are tariffed between 15 and 19%. तो he discuss about like फ्रॉम अगस्त से यहाँ पर 50% का अप्रॉक्स टैरिफ हमारे ऊपर लगा हुआ है, और रशियन ऑयल हम लोग ले रहे हैं क्योंकि वो हमारे लिए बेनिफिशियल है क्योंकि लो कॉस्ट है, और यूएस आल्सो वन ऑफ द पार्टनर। तो लेकिन उसके कारण क्या हो रहा है कि हमारे जो ट्रेड डील है, मतलब उसके कारण जो थाईलैंड, वियतनाम और दूसरी जो कंट्रीज़ हैं वहाँ पर 15-19% का ही उनको नुकसान हो रहा है। इंडिया का इन्होंने जैसा बताया कि नंबर 28% एक्सपोर्ट रिड्यूस हो गया है इंडिया का यूएस के लिए। दिस इज़ अ बिग नंबर। वाइल अदर ऑफिशियल्स आर conducting the trade negotiation, his primary challenge as ambassador is to resolve this tariff war in ways that his host can accept, but without appearing to compromise on Trump's America First agenda. ठीक है, the challenge are undeniably steep. The tariff wall, along with dispute over market access and India's pragmatic energy ties with Russia, has transformed the economic landscape from one of the one of corporation to one of cushion. For Gore, the immediate priority is clear. He must act as a chief restricting officer of the relationship, shifting the focus from perceived punishment to persistent partnership. However, his arrival signals that the path to grand reset is within reach, and Washington holds the key to a new significant wins that could define Gore's tenure as a success from the outset. On his first day in New Delhi as ambassador, he announced a quick win: the inclusion of India's as a full member of पैक्सिलिका. ठीक है, तो जब वो आए तो उन्होंने फर्स्ट वीक में ही पैक्सिलिका में इंडिया को एज ए फुल मेंबर बना लिया है. ठीक है, यहाँ पर उन्होंने बात करी कि आप केवल जो है, क्योंकि आगे का जो काम है ट्रेड डील का वो तो अदर ऑफिसर्स कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इनका जो काम रहेगा एज ए एम्बेसडर कि वो अमेरिका फर्स्ट का एजेंडा तो रहेगा, लेकिन हमारा इंडिया का भी जो इंटरेस्ट है उसको भी बना के रखना पड़ेगा. दैट विल नॉट बी इजी टास्क. ठीक है, इंडियाज ओरिजिन ओमिशन हैड बीन स्लाइट एंड नो डाउट टू इंटेंटेड वन, बट एज अमेरिकाज मोस्ट ऑब्वियस टेक्नोलॉजी पार्टनर इन द ग्लोबल AI रेस with obvious complementaries, India's exclusion meant the US was shooting itself in the foot. Gore's statement makes rapid amends and will be greeted with relief not just by New Delhi but by other participants countries. Second, the rivals of Quad Summit in India offers a profound symbolic opportunity. India's turn at hosting the summit delay amidst the trade tension of 2025. तो क्वाड समिट जो होना है वो डिले हुआ क्योंकि ट्रेड टेंशन के कारण ये सब जो भी चीज़ें चल रही हैं तो ख़राब हो रही हैं. मस्ट कम इन द क्वाड इज़ टू रिमेन द प्राइमरी व्हीकल फॉर इंडो पैसिफिक स्टेबिलिटी. ए कमिटमेंट फ्रॉम President Trump to visit India for this summit is essential. Gore's remark that this would happen hopefully in a year or two cast an avoidable dampener on the prospect. A Trump visit would allow him and Modi to lecture to leaders who once shared a well-documented personal chemistry that surely can be revived, to rise above the technicalities of trade and reaffirm रोस्टिंग जमीन. ठीक है, ठीक है. Gore's remark this would happen hopefully in a year or two cast a avoidable dampener on the prospect. A Trump visit would allow him and Modi, two leaders who once shared a well-documented personal chemistry that surely can be revived, to rise above the technicalities of trade and reaffirm a strategic vision that span defense, critical minerals and पैक्स सिलिका टेक्नोलॉजी अराइवल. यहाँ पे बात हुई कि हम जो क्वाड समिट है उसको हम कंटिन्यू करें एज सुन एज़ पॉसिबल, जिससे इंडिया पैसिफिक में हमारी स्टेबिलिटी बनी रहे, और इसके साथ साथ ट्रम्प के विजिट का भी अनाउंसमेंट जैसा कि उन्होंने करा 1-2 साल में हो सकता है, तो दैट विल बी ऑल्सो हेल्पफुल टू अवॉइड टेक्निकलिटीज़ between our trade deals. Third, the most important is the conclusion of comprehensive bilateral trade deal that end the punitive tariffs and bring them closer to the 15% that Britain enjoys. Such a deal would signal that the US views India not as a target for correction but as a pillar of stable alternative supply chain to चाइना. तो यहाँ पर बात करी गई कि इंडिया से डील करना कोई वो नहीं है, आसान मतलब सिंपल चीज़ नहीं है. यहाँ पर आप सप्लाई चेन को हम शिफ्ट भी कर रहे हैं चाइना से. तो ओनली देन दिस डॉलर फॉर बैरल प्रपोजल स्वैपिंग डिसकंटिन्यूड रशियन क्रूड फॉर US लैंग एंड परमियन ऑयल become viable. But this trade deal in hand and a presidential visit on the horizon, Gore will find the political capital for such shift by India become much easier to find. These are, of course, other challenges. The recent US warning to Pakistan has ruffled a few feathers in India, long used be being patted on the back for its democracy, while Pakistan's Khosi military state was merely tolerated for its utility. But President Trump's embrace of his favorable field marshal, whom he has hosted 3 times in America, together with reports of US interest in Pakistani cryptocurrency एंड रेयर अर्थ मिनरल, तो पाकिस्तान के साथ भी वो कंटिन्यू काम कर ही रहे हैं. Recently, Pakistani offer to the port to Pasni on the Baluchistan coast have not gone unnoticed here. Ambassador Gore's second hat as a special envoy for the region may place him in an advantageous position to resolve this irritants, but it could also create a conflict of interest for him if promoting good relations with Pakistan is seen as being a part of his brief as strengthening relations with India. Gore kicked off his first day on the right note. No partner is more essential than India, he declared, stressing that it may goal as ambassador to pursue a very ambitious agenda. We will do this as a true strategic partner, each bringing strength, respect, and leadership to the table. Gore spoke pointedly of a relationship anchored at the highest levels. Real friends can disagree but always resolve their differences in the end. ठीक है. To turn this optimism into reality, he must have beyond the role of messenger and become the architect of a deal that end the trade war, which might instead worsen in another 25% is imposed because India's trade with Iran. If Washington can quickly grant these two strategic wins, the tariff relief and the court visit, Gore will not just be a successful envoy, he will, in his own words, be securing the century मोस्ट कॉन्सिक्वेंशियल पार्टनरशिप. तो ये मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट है तिरुवनंतपुरम से. इन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छा आर्टिकल लिखा है बिकॉज ही इज़ इन पार्लियामेंट्री स्टैंडिंग कमेटी के भी मेंबर हैं ऑन स्टेट एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स. सो वेरी कंक्लूसिव आर्टिकल कि हम क्या क्या चाहते हैं, हमारे इंटरेस्ट क्या है, यूएस के भी इंटरेस्ट है, दोनों को एक मध्यम मार्ग निकाल के उसको निकाले जाए. इंडिया का भी इंटरेस्ट रहे और यूएस के भी जो कंसर्न है वो भी रिजॉल्व हो. ओके, थैंक यू सर फॉर राइटिंग दिस वंडरफुल आर्टिकल. हैव ए नाइस डे.